There comes a time, sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once, when life loses its color. The days blur. The laughter of others sounds distant. You feel like you're walking through a world made of glass. Everything visible, but nothing touchable. You do what you're supposed to. Work, text back, show up. But it all feels like you're underwater. You may not even be able to name it. It's not quite sadness, not quite exhaustion. It's a hollow ache. A drifting. Like your soul took a step back and is watching you live without it. And then, in the middle of brushing your teeth or folding laundry, the question slips in. What's the point of any of this? If that's you, know this. You are not broken. You are not alone. This feeling is ancient. It is human. And strangely, it is a sign of life. Because if you truly didn't care, you wouldn't be here searching for answers. That ache inside you? That's your soul refusing to settle. That's your inner voice whispering. There has to be more. Even the strongest minds in history weren't immune to this quiet collapse. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world at his time, sat alone at night, penning his thoughts, trying to anchor himself through the storm of his own doubts. That wasn't despair. That was a call to wake up. To stop waiting. To live fully, because time is slipping. So this isn't a tutorial. This isn't another motivational video filled with empty noise. This is a companion. A candle in your dark room. A reminder that others have stood exactly where you are. And not only survived, but transformed. Let's walk together now. Not to escape the pain, but to meet it face to face. And in doing so, maybe, finally, begin again. You're not broken. You're awakening. The most dangerous lie we tell ourselves, when life feels empty, is that something is wrong with us. That we've failed. That we're weak. That we somehow missed the instruction manual everyone else received. But that hollow feeling in your chest? That sense that everything is noise? That nothing excites you? That you're drifting? That's not weakness. It's the whisper of your deeper self saying, this isn't it. There's more. Awakening doesn't look like light beams and inspiration. Sometimes, it begins with disillusionment. The moment you stop chasing things you thought would make you whole, like status, attention, approval, and realize they were just distractions from your truth. It's like the silence after a thunderstorm. Uncomfortable, unfamiliar, but necessary. Stoic philosophers understood this intimately. They knew that the path to purpose wasn't paved with comfort, but with friction. Marcus Aurelius said the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That weight you're carrying, the numbness, the fog, the ache, it isn't in the way. It is the way. There's a story I want you to hear. A young man, barely 30, wakes up in a sleek city apartment. He has everything he once wanted. A job title that sounds important. A bank account with commas. Weekends at rooftop bars. But every morning, he stares at the ceiling with the same thought. I don't feel alive. He tries changing his schedule. Switching jobs. Taking vacations. But the feeling follows him, because the call isn't external, it's coming from within. One day, he sits quietly in a park, phone off, heart open. He hears the wind. He watches a dog chase a leaf. He remembers being 5 years old and drawing dragons in a notebook. For the first time in years, he feels something. Not fireworks, just breath. Presence. He doesn't quit his job that day. He doesn't sell everything. But he starts listening. Really listening. To himself. And that's when his life begins to shift. What is meaning, really? We often think of meaning as a destination. A final answer to life's biggest questions. We imagine it's something we'll discover one day. Like treasure buried at the end of a map. But the Stoics would say meaning isn't found, it's lived. It's not hiding in a distant future. It's already here. In the way you carry yourself, in how you respond to pain, in how you show up even when it's hard. Epictetus was born a slave. His body was beaten. His choices were taken from him. But his mind? That was his. Always. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. He didn't wait for meaning to come. He created it, moment by moment, through dignity, through awareness, through inner freedom. Meaning is not fireworks. It's not applause. It's the quiet choice to do the right thing when no one's watching. To care when it's easier to quit. To speak gently even when you're hurting. You don't have to change the world to find meaning. You just have to be present enough to notice it in a child's laugh, a sunrise, a deep breath after a long cry. Let go of the idea that your life must look meaningful. Instead, let it feel meaningful in small, honest, brave ways. Life isn't supposed to always feel good. And perhaps that's the most freeing truth you'll ever hear. We're taught to avoid discomfort at all costs. To fix, escape, numb, distract. But the Stoics taught something radical: discomfort is not the enemy. It is the teacher. Marcus Aurelius, in the solitude of his palace, facing war, betrayal, sickness, and death, wrote these words not as a king, but as a student of the storm within him. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. There's a woman I once met who had lost everything in a fire. Her home, her art, her journals. 20 years of her life, reduced to ash. I expected bitterness. But what I found was stillness. She said, I used to think life was what I owned. Now I know it's what I carry inside. That's Stoic endurance. Not emotionless. Not denial. But the strength to stand in the fire and stay yourself. It doesn't mean you don't cry. It means you don't collapse. You don't betray yourself. You don't run from the truth. There is a sacred kind of power in choosing to remain when everything in you wants to flee. So the next time pain comes, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now? And if the answer is silence, sit with it. Breathe through it. Trust that this too is part of the becoming. Storms don't come to destroy. They come to clear the path. Let's say you've endured the storm. You've stood in the fire, faced the silence, and now the winds are calm. But the landscape around you has changed. The old goals feel distant. The people you once ran to no longer understand you. What now? This is where the Stoic truly begins to live. Rebuilding doesn't mean rushing to fill the void. It means honoring it and choosing what to place within it with intention. Think of your inner world as a garden. What you plant now, in this open soil, will shape the life that grows. Start with values. Not possessions. Not aesthetics. Who do you want to be, regardless of what happens to you? Courage. Compassion. Wisdom. Temperance. Integrity. These aren't just ideals, they are anchors. They give you identity when circumstances strip everything else away. Build simple rituals around them. Journaling in the morning with one question: what would a wise person do today? Practicing silence for 5 minutes a day. Reaching out to someone who's struggling, not to fix them, but just to be with them. Create meaning by creating habits that reflect who you are becoming. There's a kind of wealth no bank can hold: the wealth of self-trust, of clarity, of living a life that feels like your own. That's what the Stoic leader Epictetus meant when he said wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to meet your reflection and feel peace. That's the kind of life you're building now, quietly, patiently, and beautifully. One honest day at a time. So here we are after all the questions, all the silence, all the searching. Maybe you started this journey because something inside you broke. Or maybe it didn't break, maybe it cracked just enough to let the light in. What the Stoics teach us is that we are not here to be unshaken by life, we are here to become strong through it. Not to avoid pain, but to let it shape us into something unbreakable. You are not the storm. You are the one who walks through it. And when you walk through enough of them, you stop fearing the thunder. You stop looking for shelter in things that don't last, other people's approval, temporary pleasures, shallow escapes. You stop running from the void and begin filling it with your own truth. That is the fire within you. It's not loud. It's not flashy. But it's there, steady, fierce, eternal. Marcus Aurelius said, just as nature takes every obstacle, every impediment, and works around it, turns it to its purpose, so, too, a Stoic turns pain into strength, loss into clarity, hardship into fuel. That's your path now. Not to be perfect, but to be present. Not to escape suffering, but to find the sacred within it. Not to wait for meaning, but to live meaningfully, moment by moment. So if life still feels uncertain, good. If your heart still aches, good. That means you're alive. That means you're still becoming. You've learned to endure. Now it's time to build. To rise. To light the path for others still wandering. Because nothing can hurt you now. Not truly. You have become the fire. And fire, my friend, does not fear the dark. So, if this journey stirred something inside you, even a flicker of recognition, even a quiet breath of relief, then take a moment to sit with that. Because you're not alone in this. There are thousands, millions of people, silently walking through life, feeling what you felt. Numb. Lost. Wondering if there's more. And maybe, just maybe, this video found you at the right time. If it did, share it. Not for me, but for someone else who might be quietly unraveling behind a smile. Someone who needs to hear what you just heard. And if you want to keep walking this path, if you want to keep showing up for the deeper questions, not with easy answers, but with honest conversation, then I invite you to join this space. And share your thoughts and views in the comments section. Subscribe, not just to a channel, but to a different way of seeing. A quieter, truer way of being. Like, if this gave you even a moment of clarity, peace, or strength. Comment with what resonated. Or just say, I'm here. This isn't the end of the journey. This is just the part where we pause, breathe, and continue together. You are not alone. And you're not broken. You're becoming. And I'll see you right here in the next one. Until then, walk steady, be kind, and never forget, you are the fire.